am joined by two people who are very good at keeping straight faces. Muslim and In Control. Muslim, we had a lot of fun things to say about that last match.
Phenomenal player. I mean, one thing that we can't leave out as well is how well Major played, even though we went out of the tournament. I think that was absolutely the highest skill game within regards to bouncing it back and forth between each other. And Special, if he won that first game also, it could have been a 3-0 victory for him, never mind him going out of the tournament.
This is, I think, what they were hoping for with the WCS system, where it's like, I'm thinking forward to November, where I see a Special and a Neeb doing battle with some of the players that aren't here, some of the Koreans, some of the players everyone talks about all the time. These are the kinds of guys that can stand up to them and really give them a run for their money.
And we got really awesome, especially from those guys. But as we move forward here, a lot of great games remain, and we will crown that champion very soon. But first, I do want to thank our sponsors, Asus, Republic of Gamers, as well as Razer. And we do have one more Zerg versus Zerg ahead of us as we decide our first grand finalist. Any quick thoughts you guys want to give on this?
Well, it's like the unstoppable force and the immovable object on both sides of the bracket. Like Neeb's playing so well, but up here, Serral has been on this tear of ZVZ in particular. Elazer was last year's not flavor that's like too negative, but like the hotness. He was the hotness last year.
He was so hot right now.
He was so hot then. He could still be hot now, but he's got to get past Serral, which unfortunately I think nobody believes. I think Serral looks pretty unstoppable there.
But that's so unusual given that Elazer kind of stomped on everybody he's met. But what's beautiful about these two playing each other in particular, everybody in Europe that was practicing, these two guys are above 7k MMR, which is a big bump. But these two are the absolute two best Zergs that people have been talking about, which it's lovely when they shine through.
Yep. And we're going to dive a little bit more into that. We do have a video prepared for you to kind of hear what the players' thoughts were on going into the semifinals.
Clawing its way through the ground right now. He doesn't have vision of it, and this is going to be a huge attack. Stefano is up 17 drones, and guess what? Those 17 drones are not roaches. He only spots it now. The scream of death as that night is working.
And then the finals are going to be probably against Major or Neeb, and I think I have a fine chance against both of them.
He's annihilating Scarlet's forces here, surrounding them. Maulings in the fray, even getting Burrow at this crazy intense time.
Yeah, I'm actually scared only of two players, of Serral and Major, which I can get in semi-final and final. So yeah, if I get them, the match will be very hard. But versus Stress, I don't think I will lose versus anyone else than them.
Excited to hear the players' thoughts. I think a lot of them were talking about earlier who they might end up going against in this bracket. Serral was the name that came up all the time, of course. Elazer saying Serral or probably Special he would go up against. Special on the other side. Very close to getting there. It looks like we are ready to introduce the players onto the stage and begin the first semifinal.
现在迎来第一场 semi-final。 也就是半决赛。
Thank you very much, Nathaniel. It is time to introduce the players for our first semifinal match. It is a clash between two Zerg players who are on absolute fire right now. Which Zerg will come out on top? It is Serral and Elazer.
The highest level of European Zerg versus Zerg, you are going to see Serral, the monster of this tournament. The hype coming up with those European Challenger runs. And Elazer, well, as good as he is to Muslim, he's looking like the underdog here.
Which is so weird given that he was the only foreigner in top 4 of BlizzCon not too long ago. And it's not as if he's looking bad by any means. The last Zerg that he played in this tournament was Cham. And after Cham went toe-to-toe with Snoot in a 3-2 victory, Elazer bashed him out of the water. And yeah, even though he is I can only say that because they're past heads up against one another. In fact, but when it comes to this tournament, Elazer's looking just as good, if not possibly better than Serral.
Well, it's just an amazing semifinal. It's like there's just so much momentum behind some of these guys. And for right now, I mean, I'm unabashedly going to join in on the hype train and just talk about how Serral, I mean, you can, it's kind of funny because you can almost attach to his character. They're like, Serral, what do you think your next match? He's like, I'm gonna win. And they're like, well, how do you feel about it? He's like, I've been training for this. And that on the one hand, it's like, wow, you're really unemotive. But on the other hand, it's like, he's just determined. He just knows what's about to happen. He feels good. History's behind him. He's been clashing with Elazer. Because as the Muslim pointed out, the two of these guys are at the top of the ladder. They just keep hitting each other. And even outside the ladder on those online cups and offline cups and qualifiers, it's been Serral getting the best of Elazer over and over again. But what I do like for Elazer is all of us were surprised by his performance at BlizzCon last year, where the guy someone that in Poland has been reigning supreme. That table's been flipped, and all of a sudden, Elazer seems to always have a chance against anybody.
He also came off, I believe he beat Serral in that game as well, so another premier player. One thing you always have to remember, again, when people qualify from certain countries, his big daddy from Poland has been Nurcho. He's had to be good or better than Nurcho to qualify to a lot of events, which means he's had a lot of ZVZ practice, and he's a confident guy, man. He said he wants to get top 4 here.
Yeah, it's really awesome for both of them, especially considering that the winner of this goes to the grand finals. We don't have those big appearances from either of these players. In fact, the only player I think that you kind of look at this like, oh, well, who's had that final appearance? On the other side, it's Neeb, right? And it's a big story for whoever ends up getting that spot. You either have the repeat champion or someone who hasn't been a champion of a WCS event before. So that story plays out in such an awesome manner as that. And I don't know. Anything
well,
else
your point's amazing, Nate. Because for me, again, and not to just steal the show entirely, but Serral has been talked up for a long time now. He's a young guy. He's been really good for a while. In StarCraft, you ain't much until you won a tournament. Like, people give you respect. They'll talk about how you're formidable. But really, until you win a tournament, it's not that big a deal. And even then, it's like, oh, you won an online cup, or you won a qualifier. Like, that's really good, but you got to win one of the majors, one of the absolute big events. This is that moment. And standing is Elazer, a very scary opponent, but someone who's done very well for himself. It's really Serral that needs this tournament to solidify his kingship.
You tend to find these players really come into their own as well. Even though you have to be really good to win a tournament, it's after the tournament that they really start to bulldoze the scene. After we saw Neeb win in Korea, there was no stopping him for quite some time. So it would be lovely to see either one of these players go on to the final just to make them a better player as a whole.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's such a cool thing to see these guys that have been up and coming. A lot have been mentioned the performance in the WCS Europe Challenger, but the icing on top is that trophy, or it ends up being the flip side, Neeb possibly taking his second championship, which just there's a lot to root for. There's a lot to be fought for here. Do you think it is a super favorite for Elazer is good. It seems like everyone that's been like coming close to Serral, well, they haven't really touched him.
Has Serral played anybody close to him until now? I think Elazer for him is the scariest opponent that he's come up against in this tournament. You can't say it's going to be a stomping. I mean, this match is so hard to predict. It could go 3-0 either way, honestly. If Serral, this is one of the first stage matches. He beat Drogo, which, you know, there's one game that he kind of threw away, but he looked absolutely solid in all the rest of the games, whereas Elazer, he's the one that's been super cool, and he's looked at the series and studied his opponents as well. He was like, hey, my build looked bad, but it was going to work in this scenario because I studied my opponent. I knew how to play him. So that's a real big thing that Elazer's
feedback. Of course, you guys have been able to vote in on who you guys are going to think win these matches all weekend long. 63% of the people watching the stream favor Serral. He definitely has a bit more of a fans, it would appear.
I mean, it's kind of cool too because you can tell how good the top end of StarCraft is right now, where a lot of these we haven't had the ridiculous, like, what do you guys think? And it's 98-2 or something like that. And we're like, whoa, it's been. It's been like
没有韩国的选手到 WCS
I think a lot
的
of
8
people
强，
know that these guys got here off.
像上次奥斯汀站 Chu 还有挺进到4强，
As much as I do
这
think
次
Serral
连
is the
16
favorite, it
强，
honestly could be a 3-0 the
16 强还
other
8强
way
就没
because
有
how
韩
much
国
at
选
stake
手
for，these guys and because of how much momentum
这
and
次算是
pressure
欧
is
美
on
选手
them.
的崛
Once
起啊。
stuff starts to kind of go wrong, it usually snowballs one way or another.
Also, people are expecting Serral to win this kind of thing. Potentially the
不过
whole
韩国
thing
选手
maybe
也
that
只
could
是
work
Chu 啊，
including
in a bad way.
所以样本数不
All
足
right, well, it looks like the players are ready to begin our first semifinal. It's time to find out who the first grand finalist of WCS Jönköping is going to be.
G'day guys, and hello again Sweden. We have ourselves our first semi-final, another ZVZ between Elazer and Serral.
And what a match it's going to be here. Serral's first true test, some would say, in this tournament. But that record we saw scrolling by on the bottom of the screen there, 6-0 in series, 15-3 in maps historically between these two players. Serral has always had the better of Elazer in the past.
A massive, massive difference, but this is the stage. This is a territory that Elazer has a lot more familiarity than Serral. And does that pressure become too much? Does the Serral hype train get derailed by Elazer here is the big question as we get into this series. Abyssal Reef will be map number 1. Let's get into it. All right, in the top left, the Finnish Zerg. This is Serral.
好吧，第一张例如他们打的是深海礁岩，例如在左上角来自芬兰的 Serral。
And in the bottom right, hailing from Poland, this is Elazer.
第五右下角来自波兰的 Elazer。目前双方都是非常最高水准的技术。
We're nearing the end of this tournament, and it's been a real cracker pig.
Yeah, these are the final stages where everything becomes very intense. Both players wanting that trophy. And of course, if you can win here, you will be going through to that grand finals. I really am curious to see how this one plays out. We are going to be spawning into Abyssal here first, and this is one of the more regular maps. I actually thought we might be seeing a different come out early, maybe a sequencer, because I do know that Elazer here is going to be wanting to mix things up against Serral. In the past, just playing normal has not worked against him, and throughout this tournament, what have we seen from Elazer in all of his Zerg? He keeps on pulling out those curveballs, playing these cheeky builds to get advantages over his opponents, whether it was Cham today or Scarlet yesterday.
Yeah, whipping out some pull first, whipping out some fast roaches, anything could be on the menu here for both players, really. But we know that Serral, his mechanics, his multitasking speed, his APM is astronomically in favor of him. But we will see as things unfold here. So Abyssal Reef, often brought up as the most balanced map in the pool, but this is a mirror, so it doesn't really matter a whole lot. And they're both going for what I like to call the gentleman's agreement, where you go hatchery first, you get the spawning pool, although the gas is taking a little bit quicker here for Elazer, so he does have that faster zooming speed.
Yeah, just going to be a slight advantage on the link speed timing there for Elazer. He has pulled off gas though after getting to 100. So Elazer, no doubt looking for that fast third, probably going to get a third queen to beef up his defense and really just play the defensive side of that early skirmishes. Serral also mirroring that, now pulling off gas as well. So neither player looking for the momentum by getting faster Baneling tech out. Both players most likely just going to take the fast third and then doing the Baneling skirmish back and forth.
It does seem like shaping up that way. Both players dropping those third bases, as you said, Pig. And the skirmish is going to begin with Serral being the aggressor here and Elazer holding that high ground with his link count.
A little bit of a skirmish there, of course. We've seen this in the meta recently. Players opening up with 6 Zerglings, and it's just because they're not drone scouting. They've gone hatch first. They're not sure if there's going to be some sort of one baseling Bane play. So players are opting to build 6 Zerglings just to give them a bit of safety in case they are surprised by one of those early rushes. So these Zerglings, of course, just going to kind of dance around a little bit. Neither one wanting to kind of dive to the other one's base and throw them away. Both players just assuming that their opponent's doing the standard fare.
Speed finishing a little bit quicker for Elazer means that he is able to chew down those lings of Serral before they get away. After clearing up his lings, drops down 10 more Zerglings out of this lava here and putting a roach worm behind it. He's going to put on the aggressive shoes.
Ooh, he's going to play Cham style here, skipping the Baneling nest. Meanwhile, Serral going to play a little bit more standard, going for those defensive Banelings at home. And it looks like we are going to see Serral on the defensive. Elazer wanting to keep these Banelings back on Serral's side of the map, wanting to put the pressure on, and even hoping to get a bit of a cancel on this hatchery.
2 Banelings on Serral putting in the defend. Elazer doing a good job so far with his links, keeping them alive, splitting them apart from the pack. And it looks like he tried to sneak into the natural there, maybe pick off a Baneling, but doesn't manage to get it. Gets into the main, looks for drones, but nothing, no damage there. Elazer struggling to find damage actually with his one count.
Serral built very few Zerglings at first. He was able to get a lot more drones out. Only now is Elazer catching up in those workers. And so far the defense has been very good for Serral. Defending with very few units and heading on to his own.
A Baneling run by there.
两个独爆炸9只龙。
I was just talking about Serral's mechanics in his multitask. He had 2 bane lanes split apart in all this madness and hit that drone line. Elazer killing 9 drones.
I didn't pick up on that at all. I saw those Zerglings running around before, and I was like, yeah, they can't do anything. 9 drones dead later. It turns out they could main on. That is actually massive.
这边只能选择防守。哦，这个独爆炸了一大坨小狗。
Elazer on the back foot already in the early stages. We're only less than 5 minutes into this game, and already Serral taking the advantage here.
Serral is not right now. How does he do it? Just taking such good skirmishes in these early stages. He's going to try and focus down some roaches, bringing his own banelings in to zone out the Zerglings. Elazer takes a nasty hit to the face. A lot of banelings went down. A lot of Zerglings went down to that baneling hit. Elazer's trying to catch back up in those drones, Maynard, but is down a little bit. Serral has definitely got himself a nice little lead.
Yeah, Elazer's going to need to find damage across the map or get a gorgeous baneling connection or get clear up these lings in general. I don't think he actually has a baneling nest, just roaches and lings.
Serral
of Serral or just try and get across the match with a run by or something like that. Because if he just sits pretty, Serral's going to use his push him to that mid gate. Well, I mean, he does have roaches of his own on the way here.
He's getting a lot of roaches
前期的狗包战术就到此为止，但轮到是莽战的 双方莽战有个 timing。
potential aggressive timings players can hit, and it looks like Serral's going to be the one putting his pedal to the
Serral 打算打一个狗蟑螂的压制，因为狗又爆26条狗，前面蟑螂可能会变成火蟑螂，这边这些狗再来去咬女皇，Serral 操作一下，这女王又死了。
Only now does he see the banelings and roaches arriving up above his third base.
这边看到了大量蟑螂狗的爆，
He's up at 56 workers against the 40. Serral has a much bigger army right now.
He's trying to balance the layer while his economy is trying to be repaired. And Serral using this time to use his army advantage to press the easy here. The batteries is so much trouble. The lings wrapping around these roaches. The banelings coming in, and they're going to start hitting the roaches, the queens, the drones, everything. Taking massive damage here.
Those drones, 11 of them falling, and there's still so many roaches left over for Serral. That's going to be it.
Serral 非常快速的就拿到第一盘胜利。
Showing his mastery in this matchup again. I was wondering,
he does have
the shaking hands. He is still a little bit nervous up there on stage, but I was wondering, is this going to affect him? Is Elazer someone much more experienced in this situation on his stages? Is he going to be able to take an advantage here mentally? StarCraft is such a demanding mechanical and mental game.
这个 Serral 的这个战术真的是非常的非常强。
Those two Zerglings
也太猛了，喝2罐。
those cheeky banelings. I mean, that is
还是那是还没开过。
He's always looking.
那如果是开过就很屌了，喝2罐。
You'll see whenever his opponent focuses on harassing or pressuring him, he will always sneak in a counterattack. He wants to pull your attention away, and if you don't pull your attention away, he's going to damage you with it. Snuck those two Zerglings in while he was defending his third base. And of course, 9 worker kills.
其实两边真的是实力不动之家。
game-ending move. Absolutely.
这里都是最高水平。
These players have been going head-to-head. 6 times have been hitting each other in best-of-3 or higher series, and Serral every single time has been winning those series against the Elazer. And he's continuing on stage so far, but we're not done yet.
Serral really is a magician at just winning these games, just getting ahead in so many situations. And I remember first being stunned watching this live at Katowice earlier this year when he was playing against Nurture, one of the absolute best players. And every single game without fail, after the early game stage moved on, he was always ahead in workers, he was always ahead in roach count. Somehow, he just finds these edges over and over again. And that is why I think Elazer's strategy throughout here has to be to try and catch him off guard. Start with strategic element, because if you try to fight Serral just mechanically, kind of man-to-man, just muscles versus muscles, it's very difficult to take him down. But that's why the next map is Defender's Landing. And I think this is where Elazer's going to start to get something cheeky going. Throw Serral out of his zone of experience, throw him into the unknown, and Elazer's experience might be able to do
This is the perfect map for some
你如果鲁双如果12滴，你就亏。如果我17滴，你鲁双，那这样的话17滴就亏了。其实这张图还蛮博弈性的。看双方选手怎么选择。左下角来自芬兰的 Serral。
And the top right, currently down one in
我
the
的右上
series.
角来
This
自
is
波
Elazer.
兰的Elazer。
Elazer looking to tie things up into that game 3. Doesn't want to go down 0-2 here.
这边果然都是
Have that quick knockback.
不，Elazer 这边是慢狗
Plays
开
with the casual 700
，Serral 这边慢狗开
down there at the bottom of the
，Elazer 这
screen.
边是提速狗
You know,
开。
these guys like to tap away at a casual pace in an important tournament game.
慢狗的话，看他这瓦斯是比较慢
You。gotta conserve your energy. Wow.
No doubt there is a lot of adrenaline
哦，
jumping
没有，
through
他
their bodies
他是
right
直接
now.
慢狗开
This
的
is a
话，
very important moment
那
for
这个
both
提
of
速
these
狗
players. Both of
这会
them
比较有
very
压力
highly
的，比较
ranked.
可以给
Of course,
慢狗开的
Elazer,
给
it's
压
so
力，
important for him
因
to
为他
try
狗
and
是会
get
快
deeper in
快
this
很多。
tournament. Because he missed out on making it to WCS Austin. He's very low on those WCS points for what he wanted from himself this year. Serral, on the other hand,
至少这个
is right
狗
at the
速
top.
至
He
少
is
会
just number
快
2 behind Neeb. So
15
for him,
秒
yeah.
左
And
右，
Elazer chilling at 10th
15 秒
place.
到
Isn't too
20
shabby.
秒。
He's not far away from the money, but I mean, this tournament's certainly going to change things if he
好，
wins
这边
this
先爆6
series.
条狗。
We do have a early pull here for Elazer, not as early as I expected, but Serral was expecting an
这
early
不用
pull.
想，就是直接爆狗了，
Yeah,
停
it's
气
going
爆
to
狗，
be a
很正常。
pull into hatchery for both players. And interestingly, much faster Zergling speed for Elazer. Now, this is a choice you end up with
这
on
个
this
4条
map.
狗先往对手
Because
家
it's such a
冲。
short rush distance and you can take those rocks down in front of your natural, a lot of players will often opt to go straight for roaches and just ignore the Zergling stage of the game completely. And I think that's what Serral's plan is here with this late gas. He's just going to play a very gasless style, couple extra queens maybe, go straight up towards that roach tech, and that is what he plans to do. Of course, any sort of roach move out is going to really scare Elazer. It's going to be very threatening. So Elazer trying to figure out when to drone, when to build fighting units is going to be a big decision this
因
game.
为地图近关系，所以王松很快就可以做视野。
It is a very, very short rush
我觉得
distance.
Serral
Let it pull. Link coming in here.
这条狗应该是可以上去的吗？
Down there. Has a pretty good idea what he's up
没
against.
办法
He does get picked off by that queen in the
加
natural.
后续这个
Elazer's
爆
lanes
狗
here.
应该是没看
Going
到
down，the dirt path. Gonna try and see and get that natural from the right and a Baneling
可能
nest
Serral 是后手独爆。
for a possibility of a link flood here.
Yeah, looks like he is going to go for the link speed and the Baneling nest, not going for the
这个
roach
速
tech
狗看
roach
就是咬
tech.
农
He's
民
just going for it a lot safer.
看可以咬到
Very
5
defensively,
只
up
以上农民。
23 workers already. Multiple queens out here at the front. He
这边
wants
狗
to
速
take
快好
those rocks down.
我觉得
Elazer
Serral 也
has a
非常
lot
的
of
及时哦
Zerglings，coming
主
across
炮
this
慢慢直接拉
map.
下
He's
来。
only at 17 drones. He
我
wants
们
to
赶快把
get
这
in
个2抗
here,
岩
but
石
he
咬掉。
realizes those rocks are going to come down.
因
He
为
split
速
his
狗竟然
Zerglings
咬
back
2 抗，
around the
不
other
过
side. He knows
射
he
这边
needs
防守
to
不错，
consolidate a little bit.
他妈妈卡
Doesn't
斜
want to
坡
get。his Zerglings having an avalanche
人家
of
是
rocks
伊拉的
falling
这个
down
前
around
期
him.
这个速狗，
Pretty big Zergling
看会
advantage
中到什
here
么
for
东西，
Elazer.
这边
He
往
comes
上
up,
冲。
missing away at those queens.
哇，这边有洞啊，这边往上冲是3只可能都要死哦。 2只死了，3只。伊拉的大亏，啊不是Serral 大亏。
Wow, that was not supposed to happen, but Serral's queens not quite blocking that
双方都有
route,
狗速。
and Elazer just microing his way up
对，
there.
这边因
He
为
kept
Serral
on
这
trying
边
to
掉了
do
3只
command
妈妈，
faster,
所以
but as soon as the
没有
Zerglings
很
went
多的
down,
金
he
钱
managed
了
to。find the slightest crack. And now everything is falling apart for Serral. If Elazer
双
can
方
get this
操作都
hatchery,
很极限
it's。going to be all she wrote.
不要玩心跳，不要玩心跳。
Very hard behind this. He's already found the damage. Anything extra here is just
你
bonus.
在玩心跳啊，
Elazer
哥
dying
哥
here, those Banelings playing with death there, and he does
操作很精
manage
彩。
to save a lot of these Zerglings. The Banelings being a little bit
这
too
样
much
28
to
只
worry
农
about.
对
It's not very
25只
open
农
natural for him to be able to
伊拉的
manage
这边
around
是
them.
稍稍有优势的。
He may not be done yet.
这
He's dropping
伊
his
拉的
Baneling
方向
nest.
独
He
爆
does
冲
have a
超
pretty，nice link count.
那伊拉的这边要做
Could
进
try
攻
and
了。
put the heat up again on that very hurt hatchery.
Now it's Elazer's turn to break down his rocks. He's got a couple of Zerglings there set up
这
ready
前期
to
的
do a
狗独爆
counter
操作，
Actually, no, not going to take
双
those
方都
rocks
发
down.
挥了
Just
自己
going
的
to
实力
wait。
He's in
here to
position too. It's
receive.
just like the queen's there and there's the lings are there, so it certainly looks like it. Food
因为
being
伊拉
taken
的
here, and of
狗
course Serral sees that
明显是比较
those
多
two
的。
lings seeing it.
Oh, a lot of Zergling and Baneling out for both players. The Baneling nest
好，
just
这边伊
about
拉
to
的
finish
率先
it
放在
for
3炮，
Elazer. Elazer is
因为他
up
这
6
边是有
workers
优
and he's
势
adding
的。
3 more, but Serral is doing
这边
nothing
狗
but massing Zerglings
看
right
他
now.
先
I think he might just go
看
for
看是
one
看那个
huge
农民的
leap
量
of，
2抗农民
Bane
量，
all
他现在看
in,
是
trying
看
to equalize the scales
还
here.
蛮多的，
And this will be a little bit easier for Elazer.
所以他知道
Doesn't worry
说
about them, but if he
伊
knocks
拉
down
的这边
these
是选择
collapsing
营运
rocks,
的
and。he will knock that debris down. There it goes. And now the lings of Elazer only have to
对
worry
等下
about
伊
the
拉的
entrances
等下
now
会有
to
狗
the
就
third
爆
up front.
There's actually a lot of vision missing there at the front of the base. I don't know if Elazer will see the move
这
out
边
of Serral.
右边藏了6条
And
毒爆
Serral here
，4个毒
hiding
爆
a，lot of Zerglings in
这
the
应该要看操作。
pressuring into this, not realizing, and he's actually going to get a cancel on the third.
我被腰退了。 两人操作都很精彩，独霸操作，这农民射3只还行，可以接受。
Elazer is all over this game. Serral was trying to back
我
up
现在
for surprise.
Serral 是死不起农民
Doesn't
的
want to show his units. And so ends up losing his third base and 4 workers. Now he has to go across this map, but Elazer has so much warning. So much time to prepare for this.
想要Elazer要守住这一波，应该是可以，因为独霸都是在变，所以女皇3只都还很坚定的，那守住应该不困难。我们开始点独霸，Elazer点独霸，哦，这操作，我这操作好强啊！我这两个操作，这两个人操作很强啊！我这边狗开始散，我这边Serral的狗快没有，我这边慢慢没有。那Serral，这边狗这边来开始杀农民，这边一定要杀10只以上，杀10只以上就赚12只。这边开始在杀屠农、屠妈妈17。17只，伊拉打的巨巨 ，Oh my god！ 这个伊拉的绝对是打出自己的水准，可是没想到Serral这么强，这我觉得都打不进去的东西，他居然打进去了，太夸张了！伊拉的人懊恼，太夸张了，这个水准，这 DVD 狗爆操作。
He thought it was a regular Ling Bane attack, and he was completely blindsided.
是谁的声音
11 Banelings just rolled
是我的声音还是
with only 4 Banelings of his own, and his queen's not quite walled off, kind of shoulder to shoulder. He just didn't have the numbers, and he was a little bit too slow to morph in extra Banelings. Serral's micro impeccable as always, and just such a dogged way to work his way back into that game.
Well played. I wish I had a tenth of the skill of what Serral has in his pinky when it comes to Ling Bane micro. I can't figure it out.
其实我麦克风不会调很大声，因为怕会爆麦。那我稍微拉近一点。
700 APM, Maynard. That's all.
There's probably another casual 50,000 page of StarCraft.
刚才伊拉的真的很懊恼，因为他这优势刚刚是蛮大的。3只妈妈站路口，后续毒爆都在变。这说真的，能被 Serral 一波打穿，那真的是 Serral 一波真的是果断。不然其实以他的该那毒爆操作其实也很好。
That is the dream, is it not? I mean, seriously, he just keeps finding a way back into these games.
可惜可惜。
You see when you see a player who is just on another tier. You think of Elazer, the BlizzCon semi-finalist, a guy who's doing so well. But Serral, even when he finds himself getting the worst end of that early game, taking massive damage to that rush, he just stays in it. He keeps
这张图的话就比较难打一波，
and even though
双方应该是
Elazer
打个营运比较
and
多。
kind of got into the natural and killed some workers, I don't think it quite clicked that there were so many Zerglings hiding in the back of that natural. And Serral somehow works his way out of the 10% chance of this Ling Bane counterattack working.
Serral 这
turns it into a
个操
miracle.
作，
Now he's up 2-0.
其实这两个人操作都不错，只是 Serral 更强。
the grand finals.
Yeah, we've seen a handful of hail.
一个很强，一个更强。
Very unlikely that they
不愧是欧服7300分的冲突。要知道7300分是什么概念？7000分，你再往上加，每场大概只能加个位数。你能将个位数慢慢加到7300分，是多么夸张的一件事！我们看一下这地图，飞升艾尔，左上角来自。 波兰的Elazer，
This guy needs to win the next 3 if he wants to advance. This is Elazer.
那第5右下角来自芬兰的Serral。
It always seems like an impossible feat when you're looking at that 0-2 on the scoreboard.
这样来打营运
It
了。
has happened before. Some of the most epic moments in StarCraft history have been when
Elazer 这边一样是17滴数，我看。
one game away from defeat.
Serral 这边应该是裸装了。
All of the next ones to close it out. Elazer here is still in it with a fight.
Elazer 绝对是打到迷茫了。可怜我大Elazer。刚才说不定，如果说那个 2矿跟3矿那个口有一个 BB 先挡着，然后手在上面有机会守住。因为如果没有用 BB 去挡，其实那个口算大，还真的蛮大的。三个妈妈要堵口也不好堵。
I don't think he's going to do it again this game. I would much more like to see him go for just about 10 Zerglings and 2 Banelings.
我想打一个速狗开敏的，至少一样。他速狗开敏会比 Serral 还要快，大概10几秒，所以他要掐住这个开敏。他不停气哦，不停气就是要狗毒爆一波。仔细看，Elazer他等下50瓦的时候会再放毒爆虫草，他要拼一枪。没错，Elazer放下毒爆虫草，因为他知道他打中期狗毒爆超透可能没机会，他要打一个前期的压制。这边绕了2条狗，这是要变毒爆虫草，要变毒爆虫。这边 Serral 6条狗先往外收，这Elazer只要狗第一时间被收到就没救了，所以这狗一定要藏好。对，它放在最上面，这是正确的。2分50秒大概就可以往3矿那边藏毒爆了。2分50秒藏，不走了。他是直接这样变，这么远。这在东北角这边变毒爆，超远。这边也看到狗数好，这边搞要补女皇，然后堵入口。还要毒爆，看到毒爆。这边先逼掉3矿吧，逼掉3矿，好，可以，这3矿一定可以被逼退的。
Ooh, picked up one. He does get one. Great micro there from Serral, and then even getting 3 Zerglings with that Baneling is enough.
这个 Serral 居然可以守住。
I mean, you don't need to get that third by any means, but I feel like Elazer there, he was
这个太夸张了。
fast enough that he
17滴速狗开，
and of course that
然后对面是裸双，裸3，
has got himself a
守得住，
7 or 5 worker lead
守得住
right now, and that is always a good thing to have. His own third base is down. He's got Lings and Banes building on the back foot, and now into the Ling Bane skirmish phase. This is where it becomes a knife fight in a phone.
通常我老实讲，通常你这样打，没有打下来，会亏一波卵。而且在这么高强度的对决中，亏一波卵几乎是很致命的。这边狗爆操作，好2颗毒爆换2颗。 狗去咬毒爆，漂亮！狗保护的毒爆，慢慢的走出来，给点压力。你们狗选择去绕，很聪明。这边狗也赶到，这边没什么问题哦，所以Elazer卡一下人口。Serral 真的太夸张了，他现在为什么人口会领先，就是因为多那个裸双的一波卵，所以导致他农民会领先。
Even though it seems like the game has been pretty even, once again, Serral just finds
没
his
什么
way
问题。
ahead.
然后这边狗2条狗，看一下你有没有什么科技，毒爆虫草没有2本，很好。再看他2气哦，这边可能要跳2本出蟑螂。Serral 这边也放下当虫草。哦，这边2本是先 Serral 先提，那有可能 Serral 是要打那个虫洞蟑螂。
whereas Serral, on the other hand, he put all that money.
因为看他这样踩气的话，感觉是虫洞。
And because of that, Serral going to be comfortably moving into that mid game and going for 2 Roach Warrens.
这边偷了2颗毒爆，不过 Serral 已经感觉到了，我有点亏啊。就看2本好会不会出那个蹲那个什么
a mistake though, or is he going to go double upgrades? He could rush for tunneling claws here. I doubt it. It probably is just a bit of an accident there, not realizing it at the first one. But we're going to have to wait and see. When that lair finishes, we will find out. Couple of cheeky banelings, Maynard.
没有两个毒爆，看可不可以赢到农民，看反应，7农，哇，赚回来。
Those Southeast Asia banelings, as we used to call them back in the day, just ran the middle line when you're distracted. Does a great job. Another attempt to get in the main and hide 2 banelings there. Doesn't quite get those up secretly, but nice moves here from Elazer. Starting to
双方就在操作这种小细节。1打2说先放下龙塔。 哦，原来双蟑螂塔是为了双生攻防，双生那个科技啊。好潮哦，双生科技。我看一下 Serral 的这个想法是什么？因为这想法比较特殊一点。因为通常你这样打，其实还蛮亏的。
As Elazer though, it's really scary if you don't realize tunneling claws is on the way.
不过这好处就是可以克飞龙，因为你飞龙这样也没办法第一时间出去哦。
Lasers laying here looking for any fourth hatchery, just trying to circumnavigate and get into the third base. Sees the drone count.
双方绕狗都绕得真的很强。
Knows that Roach is on the way, but it's going to be tough to try and predict. Hey, is that is that just Gleal reconstitution on your single Roach Warren, like 9 games out of 10? Oh, it gets in the seats. The second Roach Warren also quivering.
I'm not sure if that would have clicked though.
双方绕狗真的绕得很恐怖啊！
And then not realize when there's a second one.
But they're both quivering.
Oh yeah.
我这样Elazer有没有意识到说对面是双科技的蟑螂？这很关键。
Oh, he's going to be blindsided by this. We already see Serral splitting off the big pack of roaches, borrowing those. He's getting ready and he's starting to work his way in there. Absolutely no detection.
这边应该是往主矿走，这边是往三矿走。 这边蟑螂为什么会少？因为它有一步出，蟑螂是往Elazer的矿区走啊。完蛋！对，双线崩啊！看到飞龙塔。
But it's too late.
There's no detection,
and already 8 workers have fallen here. Oh my gosh, Serral with an amazing attack.
Skin, frowning face. GG.
哇，这边打出GG。 Serral 3比0，太强。
Continuing his reign of terror in this rivalry between the Polish Zerg and the Finnish Zerg, and Serral will be
这个利比利真的是全飞韩里面最强的利比利。
Taking it out 3-0 with some very impressive games.
这太强。
Such good defense, such good offense. Always finding the openings and really just showing us a next level of Zerg that we haven't seen in a long time.
Absolutely right. Now we have to find out soon in the next semi-final. Will Serral be facing Neeb or will he be facing Elazer? Let's go to Stu on the stage.
Serral, you're only 19 years old. You've been competing in StarCraft 2 for over 5 years now. What is it like to make the grand finals for the very first time?
你怎么面对你第一次进入到决赛？
I mean, it's just so impressive, a player as young as yourself to show such skill. Let's talk about defenders landing, because as I was watching, it seemed like Elazer had the momentum, and then somehow you went and won the game. So what happened there?
Yeah, I think I got pretty lucky. Like the game was over after the
因为我面对你这几场比赛，
so
他说我觉得我自己非常幸运哦，可以打出自己的实力来。
Well, with that, you won with the 3-0, and you're going on to the grand finals. You'll be facing either Elazer or Neeb, both fantastic players, but both of them are players that I feel like you don't normally face since they aren't on the European ladder. So what do you think about them?
I think they both are very scary. Honestly, I would trust.
决赛你将面对卡座或是Neeb，你将觉得怎么样？
I'm just kind of getting scared of Neeb now.
我觉得很危险，不管是哪一个人，我都觉得非常强。
Very strong and gonna be really hard.
All right, well, congratulations again, Serral, for moving on to the grand finals for the very first time.